Okay, allow me to give you a little bit of tour of what's new and what I'm doing today in the shop. First of all, it's something really small. I'm going to be replacing this section of 4-inch flexible hose with something clear because I want to be able to see what's actually happening in the dust collection. I've realized that I have a lot more horizontal runs than vertical, and I don't really care for that. But I'll be working on that. We are organizing all of the end mill inventory that I have, and the problem with it not being organized is you have a tendency to buy a lot more 3782s, these V-bits, than you could ever possibly use. You're buying 1 or 2 more for a job and not realizing, oh, I already own 6. Okay, so getting the end mills organized. We've got the new desktop Max upstairs that still has to get unboxed. We have gone through a tremendous amount of just mechanical upgrades in the shop, and let me show those to you now. So first of all, there has been some prior video about our new vacuum hold open for our small little CNC workspace. And what we have here got a smart little closet here. I'm going to be working on airflow. It gets awfully hot in here, so airflow is going to get worked on. So some things going on. Obviously our 6 fine turbo 2s, that's running the vacuum for our new little CNC area. I have 3 Shop Foxes. I don't remember the model number, 1685 or something like that. Horse and a half, big enough for just line voltage. Pardon me, big enough for 110 volts. Clear here so I can see that. Flexible duct here and here so I can service the inside, because I discovered that we were getting clogging, especially in the middle one. Okay, clear up here, 6-inch duct going through out the wall. Obviously the new entry is our single hanging bag. I don't need more than 1 bag. We've got this hanging from the ceiling just because, well, why not? Why wouldn't we? Welded some 5/8 threaded rod into the modified holders after we, of course, took those feet and flipped them over. I've got a small little particle board platform there with wheels on it. And that is the new closet, with the exception of, actually, I should note, this week I brought in a couple of additional circuits that I can control this stack and this stack independently, again with the shutoff valves that are here. And I really love light switches for doing this. Buying outlets that are rated for 20 amps, light switches that are rated for 20 amps. Obviously, the conductor rated for, oh, that's going to slam. Okay. All right. Now, light switch 1, 2, 3, 4. What those are for is 2, 3, and 4 are in the closet. Light switch 1, and here's the new part of what we're working on, is going to control that. Let me turn the lights on over here. We've got lots of lights in this new little area. Okay, so there are actually 4 requirements for our new CNC bay. And here are those requirements: power, air, vacuum, and dust. So we're talking about dust. Let's do that. This is connected to light switch 1. So I can stand here without opening the closet, turn on 4 horse and a half collector shop vacs. This 5th unit is controlled by the relay inside of the CNC control box. That's relay 9. That can be turned on or off right through ShopBot. I have with the help of Chris Burns, I have a command that every time a file loads, it closes relay 9, so it turns it on automatically. I am definitely planning on sticking one in the ceiling and removing all of this horizontal duct right up to the ceiling and then down to that one. That is in the future. Probably going to coordinate that with our vacuum lift project in a large track that I'm going to install in the ceiling so that I can use a vacuum lift. If you're interested in what that is, they're common in the glass industry, but in the door industry, the company that you're going to want to look at is Kaval, that is K-V-A-L. They're in Petaluma, California, and the tool is an SL-1. They have two models. The SL-1 is the appropriate model for what I'm doing. The other model is for doors, but it's set up, arranged differently. So that number one light switch is going to turn this dust collector on. Okay, so the dust collector, this is 6-inch, reduced to 4-inch, reduced down to 2-inch blast gate. That's this area here is going to be where the first CNC is going to sit. Dust back to the T 4-inch, coming over, flexible duct, back to the second blast gate, and in this area here is where the second CNC is going to sit. And now you can see there'll be one CNC here, there'll be another one over here. Okay, so that's dust. We'll see how this actually works, but to finish off the dust, obviously we've got the 5-inch. That's going right through the wall, blast gate here. I have walked into those. You have no idea how many times I've walked, my head has hit that. And then, of course, it goes back into the closet through the 6-inch, and then you get the rest of the story. So that's the plan with dust. Okay, let's now talk about, well, what I just walked into, vacuum. We've gone over that. I've got the PVC. I know that we're pulling 6 atmosphere here. That is coming to the first CNC bay, and obviously over here to the second. Okay. And as I have covered in previous videos, I'm okay with the 6 atmosphere of what it's pulling because I'm always completely covering the 3-foot by 2-foot MDF vacuum sacrificial board, where if I've got a small piece, I am attaching it, gluing it to an entire piece of 3-foot by 2-foot. So I'm getting all of the surface area there. I'm not concerned with parts breaking off. If it becomes a problem, as I had said previously, I've got a quote from Becker for a pump for that. But the problem is my fuse panels are maxed out. I may have one circuit available on my second fuse panel. That fuse panel is completely maxed out. The second one down there may have one 20-amp circuit left. Okay, so that's vacuum. That's 2. Number 3, let's talk about air. Air was the first project that I finished. I've got 3/4 pipe, servicing, all of this. Why 2 3/4 pipe? Again, one pipe is coming from compressors that are just driving the spindle. The other pipe is coming from compressors that are just driving the cold air. Completely separate inputs for those 2 requirements. I've got 2 3/4, well, yeah, they're 3/4 pipes, reduced down to 1/2 inch, and then obviously to the typical fitting. And over here for the second bay, I will be taking some, I have the parts, I will be taking some 3/8 rubber hose, cutting it, adding barbed connectors, just connecting it to the tool itself. Then the fourth and final, of course, was power. And power is something that I did because I did realize that the 6 fine turbo 2s were tripping a circuit. As I had mentioned previously, their startup is about 9.5 amps. They settle down to about 6.5 amps. I was able to run successfully 3 of them with no problem on a single 20-amp circuit. We'll see what happens. I've got 2 new circuits. Wait a minute. Yeah, I've got 2 new circuits that I have to just get tied back to the rest of all of this. That was the 2 outlets inside. Oh, I forgot to tell you. There are the 2 switches. So The first bank and the second bank are governed by these two light switches. If you want to talk about the wiring on that, you may have noticed that those are the two outlets down below that the two stacks are plugged into. Then there's a single little bridge, because out of this flex going to the two light switches, there are two pair of wires. One pair terminates here, obviously, to pick up, let's just say the negative, run back out to the light switch, back through, and then into the outlet. Then I've got the other pair coming out of there, going through this little bridge into the second outlet. So I was just able to, I think, as much of a petite footprint as possible, run the smallest amount of wire as necessary. Stop it. All right. Light switches. I like to be able to stand here and just turn them on. Just turn them on. So 4 light switches will turn on my 4 dust collectors. 2 light switches to turn on the vacuum for out here. Obviously, vacuum for the big tool is independent and on its own. I did replace the pressure gauge here because the one that was initially installed was rotated counterclockwise 90 degree, and this is actually larger as well. Okay, so power is the last thing. I ran the 2 circuits. What do I have? Okay, the 2 circuits were run for the vacuum dust collectors. I only need a single circuit to run both of these 2 CNCs. So I pulled a circuit off of the fuse panel at the far end of the shop that's literally going, it doesn't really matter, but it's traveling all the way across the shop, all the way to the other side. And so that's coming down. That is running from the second floor here, little trip around the world to here. Then I've got it running here, 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 all the way over to here to the second outlet. So what am I going to plug in? 2 laptops, which will someday become desktops because the laptops are quite anemic. When you buy something from ShopBot, well, anyway, let's finish off the power. I've got outlets for 2 computers and the electrical requirements of the tool. I know that a single circuit is going to work for that. And in fact, I looked up the amperage of the tool itself. I know the amperage of a laptop is relatively small, like really small. So I'm not concerned with powering 2 desktop maxes and 2 laptops off of a single 20 amp circuit. Okay, now, what I was about to say was, when you buy something from ShopBot, you get started. You buy a tool, and you go with their recommendations on everything. And you know what? Their recommendations are rock solid. And that gets you started. And if you stick with it, because what I've noticed, like if you were to look for ShopBot CNC on eBay, it's got people on there, yeah, they dip their toe in, and then they just realize, oh, wait a minute, this is like a full-time job. And you decide at that point to take that fork in the road and exit, or you take that fork in the road and you start building the system. And the same with AI nowadays, not to change the subject, but AI is, the initial fear was AI was going to take everyone's jobs. It's going to cut into certain jobs, but what it's actually doing, it's making the people that are using AI work really no less. And I would even venture to say you work more. The difference, though, is what you're outputting without AI is X. You work more, and that additional amount of time you're working involves working AI. Your output has just really, really increased. Anyway, in the ShopBot world, you get started with their recommendations, and it's awesome. But if you continue to go through it and you stick with it and you continue to say, well, gosh, if I was, CNC is like a boat. You always wish you bought the bigger boat, I suppose. You end up having to upgrade at every step. So one CNC turns into okay, now I need a vacuum table, and now I need a tool changer, and now I need more CFM, and now I need more this and that, and how can I improve it, and how can I be more efficient at how I do it. And you know what's really awesome would be the idea of having another one, because this one's always running, and my gosh, I don't have any time to run anything else when there's a job on it. So then you get another one. And then you realize, well, I've got both of them running, and then you build all of the additional equipment to run them, and then you say, you know what's better than 2 CNC? 3 CNC. Anyway, so that's where we are right now. I have nothing else to report. What I'm doing here today is I'm going to be positioning the CNC, cutting the duct for the dust and the air, getting the hoses cut for air. Pardon me, when I say cutting the duct for dust and air, I meant dust and vacuum. Getting the hoses cut for air. The power, probably come up with a, we'll have to see what that looks like. I might get a little more exotic with that, but it'll probably just be an extension cord hanging up for right now. And getting back to work is what it is. It's been weeks that we've been down, so to speak. There are things here to test. Something exciting, and I will report back, probably the next report will be, today is Saturday, August 1st, 2026. That 30 horse compressor, the manufacturer's representative is coming on Monday, the day after tomorrow, to power it. We have a 100 amp circuit that's feeding it. Here's the other panel I referred to earlier. That's just for the Hodge compressor. These two, oh, what are these two? Oh, those are on. That is the washer and dryer that I'm installing. Literally an over-under washer and dryer, which I'll show you. I'll walk over there and show you. As a quick diversion, a washer and dryer in the shop is really great because, you know, paper towels are okay, but at a certain point you want to wipe stuff off. Well, I don't want to take shop cloth or shop rags to my house and wash them there and have that stuff mix with my dainties. So washer and dryer here, that's what that 30 amp circuit was for. These are the turbos. One of these is the outlet for the circuit for, 31. 31 is a circuit going over to the new little mini CNC bay. And you can see the washer and dryer is off. The Hodge compressor is off. I got that. That's all I got. Now, what's going to happen is that 3-phase is going up to the tool. There's a shut-off box here, as you might expect to see. So on Monday, we're rocking and rolling. I've got it piped into my system, and I'll tell you one improvement that I've made, and you do learn these things kind of over time by doing it wrong the first time, of which I have a tremendous capacity to accomplish, is that I've got check valves installed on all of my compressors now, because running compressors without check valves, when you're trying to do it in an additive situation, it's difficult, if not impossible, to get them to turn on at the same time, which isn't so bad. You can kind of get them to turn on at the same time, but the part that is harder to control is them turning off at the same time. That's more of a black magic mystery. So inevitably, one always runs, and rarely does the second one or whatever turn on. So now there are just check valves, which I'm yet to test, and I will report back my findings on that. Have a lot more to report back, and I promise to do so as we progress. Thank you for watching.